Get ready with me while I talk about the reporting in TMZ that Elon's space lasers and the election comment was just some super big brain 3D chess metaphor that all of us are too stupid to understand. For those who don't know, my name is Ashley St Clair. I was a MAGA influencer involved in MAGA politics for almost a decade. I know. So a few days ago, I talked about some discussions I had had with Elon regarding, regarding the election and certain things he had said to me about his space lasers, certain data he sent me, real-time Delta vote metrics from America PAC. And I think it's important to note that in all of this, I've not made any definitive statements or accusations. I am merely recounting accurate recollections of these conversations and the information I was sent. One thing about me is I love gossiping with my girlfriends, okay? If I'm talking to a man, whether it's the richest man in the world or a hockey player, say cheese, bitch, I'm gonna screenshot because we have to yap about it. Honestly, the only place you're gonna have a private conversation with me is in person, and that is the only place where I will respect the rules of privacy. If you are sending it over the internet, over text, over anything, click. Now, after I divulged this information, there was a lot of people talking about it because it's definitely super weird that the richest man in the world who said that Donald Trump would not have won without him, and Donald Trump said they have a super duper big secret and that Elon's really good with computers. People thought it was also strange that he was simultaneously saying that his super secret move on the chessboard and his anomaly in the matrix were his 10,000 lasers in space, and that he agreed that I should not ask more because I would be deposed. Okay, his words, not mine. Now, a source close to Elon has given a statement to TMZ, and this statement said that this is nonsense, that, and this is their words, the space laser thing, the sky laser thing, was just a 3D chess metaphor that she is me, by the way, doesn't understand. Yes, of course. The infamous space laser chess move metaphor that I don't understand. Also, I love how they're like saying the sky laser thingy as if it's not coming from the individual who literally owns the space lasers and was talking about it. But something interesting is they're not denying that this conversation happened because they cannot, okay? Anyways, even if we are to stipulate that I am just not big brain Einstein enough to understand Elon's 3D, as opposed to like 2D chess, 3D chess metaphor that he was using with the space lasers, let's stipulate that I'm just not smart enough to understand, right? Then explain it to us really, really slow. Explain it to us really, really slow what you meant by that. Explain to us why it's very wise that I not ask more questions to avoid being deposed. And explain to us what you meant by real-time election data. How did you have that? Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but there's nothing about our elections and democracy that should just be a big brain chess metaphor that the American people cannot understand. In fact, there should be nothing about our elections that requires some sort of fucking riddle decoding to understand. And I do think this is something that is far above my pay grade, okay? These questions need to come from Congress. Did America PAC rely on traditional inputs for their data, such as canvassing and polling? And if the answer for where you got your data inputs is just canvassing and polling, why did the data look nothing like canvassing and polling? I'm not asking people to believe in some Bond villain plot here. But, and I'm not saying that these satellites were definitely used to interfere in the election. All I'm saying is that there should be questions asked, especially when someone has access to these types of technology and was saying the things that he was, both privately and publicly. He should be made to explain what he meant by this super big brain chess metaphor. Again, how did you have charts with these Delta vote metrics prior to Election Day? Did America PAC have access to unusually fast behavioral inference? And if so, how? I don't know if we'll ever get the answers to that, okay? Because so much of what the American people should know is hidden under the guise of national security. And please explain to us what you meant when you said, without you, Trump wouldn't have won. He wouldn't have won the presidency and he wouldn't have won the House. What did you mean by that? And if I'm just so stupid, I'm just a naive little girl who doesn't understand your big brain chess metaphors, why were you asking my opinion on the VP and admin picks? Why were you telling me this stuff to begin with? And why, when I said, and mind you, I was being very pick-me here, okay, so please forgive me. Why, when I said, wow, if your space lasers end up being the reason that we take the presidency, this will be, you know, something simulation. I was like, this will be so cool. Why did you respond to that with 100 emoji instead of telling me, silly girl, it was just a chess metaphor. I'm not doing anything with my space lasers. And also, why were you interviewing NASA administrators at Mar-a-Lago? And don't take my word for it, take Elon's word for it. Is anybody curious why the man who claims to be the bastion of transparency and truth and speaking truth to power, why everyone who fucking ever meets him has an NDA? Okay? These people, what has been constructed with NDAs is essentially a privatized legal system where these people can manufacture their reputations and manufacture reality through coercion and silence. And how can there possibly be any meaningful consent on any of these NDAs, most NDAs, when at the other end of almost every single one is such a severe imbalance of power? This is what has stopped so much evil from being spoken about, from Epstein to Weinstein to Elon Musk. And the things that are happening to me are happening because I said no. Because the moment I said no to this man, it was as if I had never said yes. They can call me crazy all they want. They can dig up whatever dirt they want on me. I'll talk about it freely myself. I'll yap on here. Go ahead, air more dirt on me. I'll have another topic for a story time. But it will be abundantly clear what you're doing should you do that. And again, at the end of the day, I'm not the one with government contracts. I'm not the one at the White House. I'm not the one making consequential decisions for the entire country and globe. So even if I was some degenerate crazy person, that has no bearing on the truth that I am telling you right now. It has no bearing because I'm not making any of these decisions. I am yapping on TikTok about what is right. What safeguards do we have in this fucking country to protect our elections from these private ecosystems, from these private companies who have control of so much infrastructure, consequential technology? What is preventing them from doing this? And who the hell is going to ask more questions than I am on TikTok? And if all you were sending me were big brain chess metaphors, why did you value my silence at $40 million? Can you explain that one? What fucking formula went into what you valued my silence at? And it's not only what you said to me, it's also what your engineers told me, what your employees told me, what they were working on, the incestual nature of your companies and the election and Doge and our government. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but when it comes to our elections, none of the ways in which you profile, track, and monitor voters, the American people, should be fucking proprietary, okay? The United States and its citizens, and the entire world, since we want to fuck around everywhere, deserves to know what the fuck is going on in our elections. You don't get to shut everyone up who asks questions about what the fuck you're doing in our elections, okay? Welcome to America. We ask questions. We should have free and fair elections, and we should know how those elections are operated, okay? For the people who are screaming about mail-in ballots and how dangerous mail-in ballots and immigrants are to our elections, and then says that his super secret election move is just a chess metaphor that he can't explain to anybody. He can't explain to anybody why Donald Trump wouldn't have won without him, and Congress seems completely disinterested in doing any inquiry into how he had real-time data. Anybody in politics will tell you that you cannot get that sort of real-time data with the existing traditional political infrastructure of door knocking and canvassing and voter files. And I really don't think you should just label anyone who has these very valid questions as just some crazy, dumb, scorned individual, because it's not just me, okay? And again, they're not denying the conversation happened. They're just saying that you all are too stupid to understand that it's just a chess metaphor, and leave it at that. If it is a healthy and legal and ethical system that you are and have been using, then it should survive scrutiny. It should survive observation. It should survive questioning from the American public. And with the accusations that have come after I disclosed these conversations, and the questions, you would think it would be really easy for someone to say, wow, this bitch is absolutely batshit. I did not use any of my technology or data that nobody else has access to in the 2024 election. That should be a really easy statement to make. I'm sure you could get affidavits from everyone on America PAC, since you guys love affidavits so much. Yeah, but again, this is not my job. This is a job for Congress. I've done my duty. I've put it out there. What happens now? Beyond my control. And what we're not going to do is make me sound crazy for literally repeating the shit you said. So if you think it sounds crazy or schizo, the things I said, you have 3 fingers pointing. It's 3, yeah. You have 3 fingers pointing back at you because you're the one who fucking said it. These are your words. Like, I'm not just making these words up, okay? And as I'm sitting here, I'm getting a notification from an email from another one of your many, many attorneys because you're currently suing me in Texas for a terms of service violation on Twitter after I sued your company, your AI company, for undressing me as a child. I am one of millions of women and children that your technology did this to. Like, what gaslighters? Oh my god, our technology, we would never do scary, nefarious things with our technology. Dude, I watched your robot undress toddlers and cover them in white sticky donut glaze. Okay, I will never, ever get those images out of my fucking head. And you want to tell me it's a step too far to release the text you sent, the words out of the horse's mouth about your space lasers and the election? I will end this with one of my favorite quotes from C.S. Lewis, which I will summarize, paraphrase, and probably butcher. But C.S. Lewis has a quote to the effect of, when the Bible speaks of fighting principalities and hypersomatic beings and things much larger than us, the implication is that they are to be fought by ordinary people. And I truly believe that. I believe, from my experience and being around these people, that they are terrified of the average person.